Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that I recently teamed up with fellow YouTubers Reverse Soda and Rare Light to produce a podcast series called Babblegum. I'd really appreciate it if you headed over to the Babblegum YouTube channel, checked out our work and subscribed. Thanks a lot guys. Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. Fritz the Cat was an underground comic strip created by an eccentric, weird cartoonist called Robert Crumb. It followed the anarchic adventures of a sleazy feline called Fritz. In 1972, director Ralph Bakshi adapted the strip into a feature-length film called Fritz the Cat. It was a landmark movie because it proved that animated films could be for adults as well as kids. It was one of the first animated films to be given an X rating. Now, a lot of you have asked me to review the first Fritz the Cat film, and well, what can I say that's not already been said? When you boil things down, Fritz the Cat may have been a landmark movie and a part of animation history, but it's not a very good film, no. It may have some cool, funny and artsy moments, but as a whole, it's an aimless and clueless mess with little motive or direction. In addition, it can get uncomfortably mean-spirited at times too. Really, it's just a novelty product of its time. So I don't feel like committing a whole episode of this show to Fritz the Cat because, well, there's nothing new or fresh I can say about it. But I would like to talk about its sequel. The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat is an animated, hand-drawn comedy. Fritz is now living with his partner and baby in a rundown apartment. As his partner yells at him to get a job, Fritz starts picturing alternate lives that he could lead, from an astronaut to Adolf Hitler's advisor. That's pretty much it. That's the movie in a nutshell. Now, just so people know, Ralph Bakshi had nothing to do with this movie. This is not a Ralph Bakshi film. The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat was directed by Robert Taylor, someone who did work with Bakshi back in his early days and went on to direct a lot of Disney TV shows like Tailspin and Goof Troop. Okay, so what about the film itself? Well, the lives that Fritz imagines aren't exactly that imaginative. In fact, they're really underwhelming. They come across as depressing and boring for the most part. Yes, he goes into space, but he doesn't really do anything. He just has sex with a TV reporter in the rocket. This is a film where anything could be possible. It's using the medium of animation, and his main character is a pot smoker. He could imagine any life at all! Anything! But most of these lives are just dull, really dull and pointless and either go nowhere or go off on a tangent. Where's the fun? Where's the imagination? Blimmin' heck! This film can also get really confusing sometimes because it throws all these over-the-top hyperactive images at the audience and you're trying to catch up with what's going on. You're trying to work out whether this scene is part of Fritz's real life or his imagined life. It's really hard to take in. This film's biggest crime has to be that it's severely boring. Really, really dull. It doesn't help that a lot of these scenes are pretty much in Fritz's head, so there's no tension. We know it's not real. And, well, there's loads of scenes where it's just characters bantering and rambling on. These scenes aren't that imaginative, like I said, they're just characters talking to each other. They're just monologuing or bantering, and you're like, why should I care? Fritz himself may be a lazy, selfish, sex-obsessed bum, but he does show some heart deep down. There's a scene where he finds a man who's being stabbed, and instinctively he decides that he has to take care of this guy. He genuinely wants to save his life. Also, he does show signs of being educated, spiritual, and insightful. However, this film clearly doesn't know what to do with him. It really wastes the character. It's like, that's Fritz the Cat. He's a cat. He likes sex. He likes drugs. He's kind of smart. The cherry on top has to be that, well, all these lives that he imagines go nowhere. He learns nothing. Even after he's gone for all these different lives, he wakes up and just carries on being himself. He doesn't decide, you know what, I should get a job. I should start taking care of my family. I should start being somebody. No, none of that. Just carries on being himself. Now, there are many other characters in this movie, but, well, because we skip through all these different lives, we don't get to know them, so there's nothing I can really say about them. They're just forgettable caricatures. Now, the animation for this film is certainly crisper, smoother and sharper than the animation in the first film, but it's so obnoxious. The film constantly throws over-the-top and hyperactive images at the audience. It's like the director was aware that his film was really boring and dull, so he thought, you know what, I'm gonna have some silly and crazy things go off while people are talking, okay? In addition, the characters are always moving. And like I've said a million times before, just because your character keeps moving doesn't mean it's good animation. Character animation relies on timing and pacing to create life. Just because your character stops for one moment doesn't imply that it's dead. Skip Hinton reprises his role as Fritz, and just like in the first film, he displays a lot of charm and energy in his delivery. But, well, the film doesn't give him much good material to work with, so he feels wasted. It doesn't matter how good an actor's performance is, if the script sucks, then it's a loss. It's a real shame because, well, he's the best voice actor in the film.
Jesus, this stuff is dynamite. The eyes of my own soul staring back at me. God knows I've lived the best lives I was capable of. My minor infractions of society's rules were only due.
The music for this film is made up of lots of funk and jazz, two of my favourite genres. And I will admit that these genres really suit the film's gritty street setting and the era it's set in. But it's not that noticeable. No. The music score for this film is so generic and so unimaginative that it just comes off as forgettable fodder. It exists. It's there. You know what? I was trying to think of two sophisticated words that I could use to maturely and sensibly convey what I think of this movie. Then I thought of them. It's shit! This is honestly one of the worst animated films I've ever had to sit through. It's like it takes all the worst aspects of the first film and turns it up to 11 to create this boring, stupid mess. I would honestly rather wear this steel rag as a condom than ever have to sit through it again. I'm going to give this film 1 strawberry out of 5. However, if you enjoyed the first Fritz the Cat film, then you'll most likely get into this one because it's just as trashy and sleazy. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, then please click the like button below to let me know. Have you seen the 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat? If you have, then let me know what you thought of it. In the next episode, I'm going to review The King and the Mockingbird. Cheerio, folks.